keeping in mind this is a DA who's up for re-election soon, so that may weigh on his decision.
Okay, this is just my personal opinion. This seems to be a very politically motivated second look at a conviction. If you asked me on the spectrum as a criminal defense attorney of all the criminal defendants I've known, who are the most deserving of this kind of executive clemency? And that's kind of what it is, packaged as a resentencing. But this is essentially the DA's office undoing a conviction that it secured 30 plus years ago. If you were to
And you know what's messed up? When they got convicted the second time, that's another reason why they got convicted. It was elections. They wanted to look good. They needed to put them behind bars because O.J. Simpson got off. O.J. Simpson got off. They didn't want the riots happening, and they were like, we got to do this. It's a political thing. So it's going to be so interesting if it's another political move. Now, I believe they should be out, but I wonder if it's going to be a political move with what they're talking about. It's so weird. Yeah, this case was a massive in Southern California. I grew up down south. I was down there when that happened. I grew up in the LA area. Like I told you guys, the Night Stalker. I lived in an apartment with my mom when the Night Stalker was around. We had to lock our windows even in the summer. So I was all down there. Microwave Cheese, thank you so much for the 10 guilty of crime memberships. Oh man, this is just a crazy, crazy case. Yeah, I'm glad you guys remember this. You might be hearing more real soon if they get out. Jojo, this is for the ones that want to donate but aren't able to. Love our taters. I do love our channel and all the people that support it. Thank you so much. Trigger warning. I'm going to try to keep everything to a minimum with my language, but you guys could chat it up, whatever you want to talk about. I appreciate you all. Thank you. We're going to talk about what went wrong. And again, thank you, Angela, for the $2 super sticker. I didn't get to thank you. We're going to talk about what went wrong.
Asked me who were the most deserving 3-4 weeks ago, the Menendez brothers would have been in the middle to the low end. I mean, there are a lot of people who are at least whodunits who are sitting in prison. There's no question that these defendants or these two brothers killed their parents, lied to the police about it, went on a shopping spree, and were only confessed to it when they were finally caught. So look, do we have different views now today than we used to about child abuse? Absolutely. Are there a lot of criminal defendants sitting in prison for life who have been abused? Yes, I would say a large number have been. So good for these defendants if they can get out, but I am surprised because I wouldn't have put them in my top 100 of most deserving clemency petitions.
High-profile cases are a fascinating animal, aren't they?
And you know what else is fascinating is the DA's TikTok right now, the way that he is using it.
We need a whole nother segment.
I know, but just go take a watch if you got a second. It's interesting.
Yep.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks for watching. Stay.
Again, they may be in another situation where they're let out because of elections and everything else going on. So that's going to be interesting. We're definitely going to be watching out for that. And if you haven't, let's see, if you haven't seen this yet, hold on, let me get to you. If you don't know about the case or you need a refresher, we're going to do that kind of right now. We're not going to refresh about the old stuff, but we are going to go back and see what happened and what went wrong, which is kind of going to refresh you on it if you don't know about it. The last time I covered this case on my channel, it was members only, and surprisingly, people didn't know about it. And thank you, Foxy Amazon, for the 420 right on the dot guilty of crime membership. Thank you. Someone says they'll be out by Christmas. All right, I do want to show this first before we get any further. And hopefully we make it through all of it today because, I got to pick Miss Reese up. And Reese did not call me today and say anything hurt. So we're on a good track. But a big deal that happened here were the family members that talked for 45 minutes in a press conference. And we're going to watch about 6 minutes of that clip. Kim Black, Eric, and Lel were emotionally, yes, they were essayed and tormented. They were afraid. And now America sees boys can be raped and more. Thanks to Diddy. Thank you, former Menudo member. God bless. Free them. I agree. Back then, they didn't believe that would even happen. And they were like, oh, it's a boy. These are boys. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen to boys. So thank you, Kim. I appreciate you for the $20 super chat. They spent $700,000 real quick, and everybody called them spoiled brats that had a motive of just money. Now we're all rethinking it. All right. I was too young to think any further than that back then. Naomi, thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. If this were 2 women, they'd be out. They probably would have never got convicted.